Welcome back everyone. Today we will be discussing the Yeezy 350 Oreo. Specifically, we will be discussing some release info, how to cop, and of course, some resale predictions at the end of the video. The Yeezy 350 Oreo releases on March 12th. Retail will be $230 like all recent 350s, and since this is an Adidas product and not Nike, I cannot confirm the exact stock myself, but I am expecting it to be relatively low in comparison to other recent 350s we have seen, since so few retailers are going to be receiving. You'll see what I mean later. Regarding resale, we will cover that towards the end of the video as always, but with the release info out of the way, let's jump into how to cop these Yeezy 350 Oreos. Unlike usual releases that we normally discuss, we won't be going in chronological order since there might only be one site technically dropping these online. That is, at least for March 12th in the US and Europe. Currently, no other retailers, neither the regular corporate or boutique retailers, have received pairs, nor have they posted anything about these on their calendars or social medias. On the other hand, what is very interesting was that some Japan retailers actually do have these loaded, although as a raffle, such as Kith Japan and Mita. So there is a possibility that perhaps other retailer shipments are simply delayed for US and Europe and not Japan, but we'll see of course. So of course make sure to subscribe and enable post notifications, and of course make sure to follow my Twitter, KeithAdam10 and personals for you for any urgent updates on these or any hype sneaker for that matter, such as the many shock drops we have been seeing recently. So what is dropping in that case? Well, for US and Europe, we have Adidas Confirmed, and we also have Yeezy Supply. At the moment, yes, that is it. However, as I mentioned before, I do believe it is possible that we may see other retailers drop sometime in the future. So, of course, most importantly, you'll want to sign up for the Adidas Confirmed App raffle. Now, one thing that I do want to discuss that we normally don't talk about for Confirmed is the possibility of your account being shadow banned. The reason I've held off discussing this despite this theory floating around for months is that there really is no concrete evidence still that backs this theory up. However, with the influx in all the recent Yeezy drops, we've seen a lot more anecdotal evidence that does support this theory, so I did figure it would be an appropriate time to discuss this. Essentially, many people have been claiming that the only accounts that they do have success on the Adidas Confirmed app is those that do receive the 3D secure pop-up after you do enter your card details and enter the draw for the Adidas product. On the other hand, when it comes to accounts that never get that 3D secure pop-up, those accounts also seem to never see success on Adidas Confirmed apps. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you will be guaranteed to win if you do see the 3DS pop up. Rather, it simply means that you will have a chance of winning. Whereas if you don't see that pop up for the 3DS, then you essentially have no chance of winning, almost like not even entering at all. In other words, a shadow ban. Now again, when it comes to something like this, the anecdotal evidence can always be skewed by confirmation bias in either direction, making this extremely hard to prove if it is actually the case. For instance, someone may simply conveniently forget that they saw the 3DS pop up if they are arguing that this theory is false. On the other hand, someone may simply be venting about not winning consistently simply due to poor probability if they are arguing that the theory is actually true. So again, it's really hard to tell if this is true or not, but so far the majority of the anecdotal evidence does back it up, and hence I did want to discuss this. When it comes to your 3DS pop-up, it might not look exactly as you see on the screen. This is just an example of mine. It may depend on your card provider, but the point is that you should still have something pop up. If you do not have this, and even if this theory is incorrect, I believe it is still worth the effort to try these two solutions to achieve it. The first solution is to make a brand new Adidas Confirmed account with a new email, a new phone number, using a different physical card for payment that you haven't used in the past, not a virtual card. If you don't have another physical card, you'd either have to apply for a new one, which you should be doing as a sneaker collector and reseller anyway, or borrow from your wife if given permission. I don't believe this next part is essential, but just for safety, make your entries on a fresh IP address. Now, if you don't have a VPN or a different network, simply disable Wi-Fi on your mobile device so you can use data by default. If this still does not work for you, the next thing you'll have to try is quite literally contacting Adidas and explaining the situation to see if they could help. While I've not heard too many successful stories involving Adidas fixing the 3DS issue for customers, and those that I did hear from have no screenshots or recordings, I do know for a fact that this approach has been successful for Hibbit bans. A lot of big resellers often get banned on the Hibbit website as suspected resellers. However, it really only takes a couple of tries of being nice to support and getting those bans lifted. I'd imagine this should be possible for Adidas Adidas as well, and it definitely can't hurt to try. So anyway, I did want to go over that sooner rather than later. I was hoping to get more concrete evidence before I did discuss it, but it's just getting too late, and I do think it's a relatively important thing to discuss, especially with so many great Yeezy releases recently. Now, assuming you are getting those 3DS pop-ups successfully, you can try entering more accounts as well into the draw to increase your chances of copying, just as a general tip. Similar to Nike, Adidas does require SMS verification, so you will have to ask a friend of yours to use their phone number, ask them for the verification code. This way, you could open up new accounts just as you would for Nike. Or on the other hand, if you'd rather not bother your friends or just want a significant amount in general, you can feel free to check out my website TARS for pre-verified Adidas and sneakers accounts. The link is in the description below. If possible, I do suggest using unique cards for each entry, but I can't confirm if this is relevant to shadow bans at all. We really do need more information on this. It's more or less just a precaution to take. But anyway, as for an actual drop on the release date for these, we do have one at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and that is going to be good old Yeezy Supply. Right after 9 a.m. Eastern Time, usually around 9:02 to 9:04, the sale for Yeezy Supply should go live. You'll see the screen change. However, you should already be set up for this in advance because the queue normally begins at around 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time, which will give you more than sufficient time to set up. Since Yeezy Supply is a queue, you can feel free to set up all your Chrome users well in advance. You will see the screen change to the sale has started when it actually does begin. For those who are wondering what I mean by Chrome users, it's super simple, and for you new guys, I'll walk you through it really quickly. Go to the top right corner of your screen in Google Chrome, click on your profile icon, then click on the drop down where it says add person. Now you just add a random name, pick a random color, and then click done. Repeat this for as many Chrome users as you want. You could technically do this for as many as you want, but the best amount is relative to your personal computer. If you have too many for your computer CPU to handle, then it'll be extremely laggy and inefficient, so you will have to play around a little bit to find your happy medium. The reason we do this is because each of those Chrome users will have unique cookies, and when it comes to Adidas or Yeezy Supply, they are tracking you as a unique individual based on your cookies. This is why it works, whereas had you just tried to open up a bunch of tabs on the same Chrome user, that would not work at all. Also, to view all of them at the same time, just a quick tip, use the Windows and Tab button on Windows and the F3 button on Mac. It is also suggested that you have a max of 10 users per IP address, so you can split 10 on your Wi-Fi, another 10 connected to a hotspot, or you could even use a proxy switcher free extension. And if you do buy residential proxies, you could even add a unique proxy for every single Chrome user, since with residential proxies, you could generate an unlimited amount anyway. If anyone did want to go this route of residential proxies, you can feel free to check out the link in the description below for kit proxies. Now, equally as important, make sure to sign into an active Gmail account on each of your Chrome users. Try not to log into the same one too many times, but it will have to be one of yours that is relatively active. This will make passing queue much more efficient. Just Google my Gmail V3 score to see how close your Gmails are to a 0.9. The closer, the better. Well, again, I wish I had more sites for you guys, but aside from Asia, that's about it for the how to cop. So now, let's move into the resale predictions. To start, although I don't have the precise stock on these being an Adidas product, as I mentioned earlier, I do believe stock on these will be lower than many recent 350s that we have seen. Granted, there are still some in circulation from the 2016 release combined with these as well, but as we witnessed on the blue tint 350 drop, those of which had even greater initial stock, this still didn't really play that big of a factor. As for demand, it is no surprise that demand on these is absolutely insane, just as it was in 2016. Pre-sale is still immensely high, bids are very consistent, and sale volume is actually quite impressive as well, despite there being hardly any new pairs in circulation due to other US and Europe retailers not receiving these. If they had, I could only imagine how insane the current sale volume would be, but I do suppose we'll see that after the drop takes place. Unlike many recent 350s we have seen, I'm actually expecting these to remain very profitable with a great margin, with larger sizes still performing the best. I'm personally going full throttle on these for every single size, and I definitely need that personal as well. I must avenge my 2016 L. Anyway, that'll conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or perhaps if you learned a thing or two, subscribe, and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on all hyped releases. Also, feel free to check out the links in the description below for reliable, fast residential proxies, and pre-verified Nike sneakers or Adidas accounts. Also, follow Endurance's Twitter for updates on restocks or key giveaways, and the same goes for Gargantua if you want to keep up with the progress or restocks. Last but not least, make sure to follow Keith Adam 10 and also personals for you so you guys stay updated on all urgent info like I was discussing today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on this release.